Welcome back guys, here we are with another analysis regarding a company related to crypto world. We have already seen the full analysis about Marathon Digital Holding, you will find it just above in the link, and in that analysis you have seen this. This is the Bitcoin chart. We have seen that in the last month Bitcoin went up almost 300%, but if we compare Bitcoin with Marathon Digital Holding, we can see that our gain is absolutely higher. We are speaking about a 1500% of gain. So compared to Marathon, Bitcoin seems almost flat. And today we want to analyze another company that is absolutely similar to Marathon, and this company is Riot blockchain. Here we are with this orange chart, and you can see that the two companies are absolutely similar and they both amplify your gain or loss compared to the Bitcoin price. So in this analysis as a value investor, we want to analyze the business of the company, we are going to analyze the number balance sheet of the company and even the price. But as we have already done an analysis with Marathon Digital Holding, we are going to compare Riot blockchain in order to understand if there is some big difference and if one of the two companies is much better than the other, because both of them works as a Bitcoin miner. In the previous video we went in detail to analyze how mining works, but now I want to review the slide just to give you a brief recap. And before going on, don't forget that you can find just above the link with the playlist with all value investing analysis that we have done with all other companies. Mining Bitcoin means to have a big data center, and in those data centers you have the computer, the miner, that works in encrypting Bitcoin block. And when blocks are encrypted, they are added to blockchain itself, and the miner is rewarded with some Bitcoin. In this moment in time the reward is 6.25 Bitcoin, and we have already seen that the most important things in this kind of business are for sure price of Bitcoin, that is absolutely relevant to understand the profitability of this business, and in the other end the cost of production. And let's start by analyzing what is the actual calculation power, so how many Bitcoin the two companies can generate and at which cost they can do this job. Regarding Riot blockchain, it's really easy because this data is given. It is 1.3 exa hash rate. Hash rate is the metric that we use to understand which is the calculation power. And in a while we are going to understand how many Bitcoin we can generate with this kind of power. In fact, if we go back to Marathon Digital Holding, we can see that at in this moment in time the power calculation is 1.4 exa hash rate, so absolutely similar to the one that has Riot blockchain. But here there are some more information. In fact, this company tells us that with this power calculation they can generate a gross revenue of 5.5 million per month with a Bitcoin price of $56,000. So if we divide revenue per month by price of Bitcoin, then we have the number of Bitcoin that can be generated with this power calculation. Specifically, we are talking about a number that is 97 Bitcoin per month. So it means that in a year the company can make 1160 Bitcoin more or less. And in fact, if we go back to Riot blockchain, we can find here in their document that in the 2020 they have generated 1032 Bitcoin. So it's a number that is absolutely similar to the number that we have calculated with Marathon Digital. And it's something that absolutely fit because we have seen that the calculation power is absolutely similar as well. So at this moment in time the two companies has the same calculation power, they can generate the same almost amount of Bitcoin each month or each year, but what we want want to understand now is what are the costs related to this kind of Bitcoin mining. This is easy to check, in fact, directly from income statement. In this case, we are on Riot blockchain. We can see that the cost of revenues are in this case $6.2 million, while in the other end for Marathon Digital the cost of revenue are around $7 million. So Marathon has a slightly higher cost of revenue, but we have seen that maybe they have produced more Bitcoin, a little bit more, so this kind of number are absolutely in line, and we can say that the cost of revenue it's almost the same for both companies. So we don't know yet which one is the best one, and maybe to understand it we want to analyze what are the plans for the future. So what should we expect this company be in 1 year time, for example? For Marathon Digital Holding, the answer is quite simple. In fact, the plan of the company is to be ready for January 2022, so end of this year, beginning of next year, with a power calculation power of 11.8 exahash rate. So they want almost 10 times the actual power calculation. So it's absolutely a good plan for their future, and we have seen in the specific video that they have everything to put in place this plan. Speaking about Riot, on the other hand, we can see that actually at the end of this year, so beginning of next year as well, the power calculation that they want to put in place is only 4.0 exahash rate. So it's less than half on what Marathon wants to do. And this is a big difference for the two companies, and from this point of view, maybe Marathon seems much better investment to do in a 1 year time perspective. But there is something that is really important, and now we are going to deeply investigate, that can completely change our mind and maybe put Riot blockchain as a first alternative in this world of crypto investment. In fact, just on the 8th of April, Riot announced to acquire Whinstone US. What is Whinstone? Whinstone is the owner and operator of North America's largest Bitcoin hosting facility, and Whinstone currently hosts Bitcoin mining operation for 3 institutional clients, and nowadays they utilize up to 300 megawatt. So the first important things to notice is that Riot want to diversify a little bit their business. In fact, there will be not just a miner, but even an hosting. And this slide maybe can give you some more information about this acquisition. You can even see the plant here and how is inside if you have never seen something like this. And as we have just read, we can see that up to now this facility is running with 300 megawatt of power, but the full capacity of the plant is up to 750 megawatt. But how megawatt are related to Bitcoin mining? If we check back the previous document about Riot blockchain, we have seen that they use at this moment in time 1.3 exahash rate, and the consumption power related to this is 43 megawatt. So when we speak about 300 megawatt, we can think something around 9 exahash rate. And if the company will go up to 750, so the total hash rate will be up to 18. But as I already said, those power is related to hosting as well, not just for Riot mining itself. So we can say that the total power calculation is for mining it's 4, but as well at the same time that will run this new facility. So in this new perspective, maybe Riot is much better than Marathon, because they are trying to even diversify their business, and they will be able to run with these big facilities that is really good structured. But how much does it cost for Riot this acquisition? So they have to pay 80 million in cash plus 11.8 million shares. So the total value will be something around 650 million. But the best thing of this acquisition is that at the end, Norton Data, that is the old owner of Whinstone US, become 12.3% pro forma shareholder at closing. So there will be a strong partnership between those two companies. And for me, this is the most important things to keep in mind when we think about investing in this company. And at the same time, there is absolutely no problem in paying these 80 million in cash. In the balance sheet of the company, there are around 200 million cash. So they can absolutely and easily pay this amount of cash. So we have seen that the two companies are absolutely the same. They have the same power calculation this moment in time. They can generate the same amount of Bitcoin. They have a slightly different prospective plan for the future, but what is important to keep in mind is that their value is absolutely correlated to the Bitcoin price. And this is really important when we come to the evaluation of the company. I want just to tell you that, for example, the market cap for Riot blockchain is $3.48 billion, and if we check the market cap for Marathon Digital, we have $3.45 billion. So even the evaluation of those two companies is absolutely the same. And when we think to investing in this kind of company, it's the same as we have said in the last video about Marathon. We can have a price that is in line with the value of the company. For sure, it's absolutely difficult to understand, to calculate which is the intrinsic value of the company, because it's highly correlated to the Bitcoin price, and so it's really difficult to understand if the price of Bitcoin will grow or will go down in the next future. Technically speaking, we are now in the low part of the price, so from technical point of view could be a good moment for investing in those two companies, but it's really up to you to understand if you are bullish about Bitcoin price, then you can invest in this kind of company. But if you are not, then this kind of investment is better to avoid, because as we have seen, they go to emphasize what is your gain or your loss, comparing on how much the Bitcoin price change. The company is not yet in my public portfolio that you can see just with the link below in the description. In the portfolio we do manage at the moment almost $500,000, but I'm still investing in this kind of company by using option. I want to remind that you will find just above the link with the playlist with all value investing analysis that we have done for all other company, analysis made by myself or in collaboration with the international value investing team I'm working with. So if you like this kind of content, and I really hope so, because there are a lot of job required to make this kind of video, I'll be glad if you smash the like button to support with YouTube algorithm, and just subscribe if you like this kind of content, and I'll meet you in the next video.